What is going on, everybody? What is going on? What is going on? First and foremost, happy out there. Happy Thanksgiving. Hope this thankful for the things that you're thankful for. Obviously, able to enjoy some good food. I know I did. Spent some time with the family, enjoyed some good food. That's what it's all about, man. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. Um, and obviously another one getting ready to be in the books here. Um, but time to be thankful. Um, it's always the ones that you love the most. And be eating good, watch some good football. That's what it's all about, man. That's the dream right there. And I'm watching this Dolphins Packers game. Green Bay, they're taking care of Miami so far. I think that's probably what most people expected, it being here in Green Bay. But I will say that overall, just great Thanksgiving. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Typically I do these on Friday, but I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. Tomorrow night, I might be tied up in some stuff, and even if I'm not, I'm just probably not gonna be interested in doing a live stream tomorrow night. That's why, man, going out of the way and getting it done with. That kind of felt like doing this tonight, doing it on Thanksgiving, because the Falcons. Am I thankful for the Falcons or am I not? Well, obviously, thankful for the Falcons. Am I thankful for everything that they do? Certainly not. But generally, am I thankful for the Falcons? Of course, I'm thankful for the Falcons. I'm not thankful for how they've been playing the past few weeks. I am thankful that we have been on a bye week. I did not do anything over the bye week. Mainly just because, man, first of all, kind of came down with a little cough. Wasn't feeling so well when I was planning on doing a stream. And also, just, man, I got to be completely real. After everything that, had happened so far, and especially these final 6 weeks that are coming up, I kind of I had to recharge for a little bit. Kind of had to recharge. So I took a little bye week with the team. I was planning on maybe doing a bye week, live stream of sorts, get my opinions of what I thought had happened so far, and maybe how I think the final 6 games go, and hopefully beyond that. I decided against it. But here I am. We are back in the saddle after some very much needed rest. And this Sunday is going to be a very big game for the Falcons, because I really feel like when you look at what is at stake here in this game, it's a lot. That first game out of the bye week, especially in a spot where this bye week came, week 12, which for a team that is looking to make a playoff run, looking to make a push towards the playoffs, that is almost the perfect time for a bye, because you are charging up for the beginning of the home stretch, and that really is this weekend. It is going to be December 1st on Sunday, and December 1st is typically what we consider to be the home stretch in football, as we really do start to look forward to the playoffs. I see everyone in there. Shout out to all y'all. Hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Hope y'all enjoyed it with your families. Listen, I really feel like, though, as far as this game goes Sunday, it's and every game is a big game, but this is a game I think especially. We are going to be looking for what a lot of what we expect and we can maybe even anticipate this team is going to do throughout these final 6 weeks. And it is just one game, but you cannot see this team come out on Sunday and lay an egg, because that is probably a very terrible sign of things that could potentially happen. When you look at the games that we have remaining. So ultimately, the Falcons have to come out Sunday, and they really have to prove something. They have to prove something on offense. And I would really honestly say, as far as this defense goes, you definitely, you cannot see what you saw in Denver. We know that, we're not getting pressure at the quarterback. At least that's not what we anticipate. There's only so much you can do over a bye week to really fix those things. Now, whatever did go on over the bye week, I hope was time well spent and very much productive. I hope that what went on between the coaching staff, what went on between the players, what happened in those film rooms, is there have been a lot of issues with the Falcons, especially, the game in New Orleans. And it gets to a point where you have to really do some self-evaluation. And the bye week's a good opportunity to do that. But now with the bye week over, whatever self-evaluation you did, it's time for that to translate into something on the field. And that's what we need out of this defense. We need this defense. And I don't know if it's you start incorporating a lot more man into this defense. I definitely think that could be a start. I think you look at with some of these players, they play better up in a guy's face. They just do. I feel like with AJ Terrell, he is the type of guy, he plays better in some situations. Not all, but I feel like in some situations, he plays better matched up, man to man. Now, I think a lot can also be said about AJ Terrell's general ability, and some may even question if he really is as good as we're paying him. But the bottom line is you have to play to your player strengths. And that's what the job of Jimmy Lake and Raheem Morris has to be. Playing to player strengths. Whether it is doing more blitzing, whether it is incorporating more of a multiple style defense that we did see last year. Because let's be completely honest. There have been guys like David Onyemata. There have been guys like Hayden Netlis. There have been guys who basically look like a bunch of deers in headlights with how this defense has been ran and how they fit into this defense. And I understand you're not changing everything over a bye week, especially this late into the year. But the conversation between Jimmy Lake and these players has to be, how can I play to your strengths? Because I'm going to be completely honest. While it has been very much disappointing, and I definitely think the players are not blame-free at all. I've said, I will criticize players. Coaching is a big factor. And we have basically seeing the exact same defense ran all year, and it's a college-style defense. And it's not going to be sustainable. So Jimmy Lake and Raheem Morris, they really have to lean into what are the players' strengths? What are these guys capable of doing at a high level? And that's also where I really think Jerry Gray comes into play, because Jerry Gray being here last year and, seeing guys like David Onyemata more productive, seeing guys like Hayden Ellis more productive, that is really where they can lean into him for his wisdom. So listen, as far as the offense about it, I'm not concerned about the offense. I feel like the offense is going to be okay. I do. But I really feel like this offense is ready. I feel like if you give us a healthy dosage of Bijan early, and that's able to set up Tyler Algier to really run through the defense later in the game, and that is what you're building the entire offense off of, I would definitely like to see a whole lot more short passing game. I do know one of the things that they talked about is using a lot more play action with Kirk, which I think the big conversation earlier this year was, why isn't there a play action? Why is a lot of stuff out of the pistol? It is because, let's face it, Kirk was not 100%, at least mentally, and probably not physically either. Week 1, Kirk was not 100%, neither mentally or physically, and he was still knocking rust off. And even, not really even until I think that game versus Tampa did you see a really comfortable and healthy Kirk Cousins. But even at that, then the job became, you're really trying to find where are Kirk's strengths in this offense. And one of the things we've seen is we haven't seen a whole lot of under center, and we haven't seen a whole lot of play action. And that is really where, coming out of this bye week, we definitely need to see that a whole lot more, because as you get later into the year, that is the winning style of football. That goes very well with your running game, and that is how you're going to be able to control games on offense. So I definitely like to hear that, and I'm looking forward to seeing that on the field. But I feel like as far as the defense goes, it really has to be, how can we play to these player strengths as much as possible to at least see trying something new. What can be tried new coming out of this bye? I think that's where this coaching staff to figure out. Obviously, you're not changing a scheme completely, but you need to throw some wrinkles in there that haven't been thrown in there. Jimmy Lake is going to have to step out of his comfort spot and really, really examine where he is and his abilities too. That's why I say I think Jerry Gray's role, even though obviously Jimmy Lake is still here, Jerry Gray's role has to take much bigger meaning for the remaining of this season. And really, honestly, at least for the remaining of this season. Now, with that being said, looking at this matchup towards the Chargers, you got to give them credit. Jim Harbaugh is a very good coach. He does an excellent job at getting the most out of his players. And that is why, I don't mean to go back this far, but I'm just first choice during the coaching search. I kind of knew it wasn't going to happen, but I made it clear. I absolutely wanted Jim Harbaugh. That would be the dream scenario. It didn't happen. Raheem Morris, I've liked some stuff I've seen out of Raheem, some other stuff I'm really, still I think like Jim Harbaugh as a coach. I liked what he did with San Francisco coming in In the first 3 years, they made it to 3 straight NFC championship games. Now he's doing it with had Justin Herbert and a bunch of bums. They drafted McConnell, watch out for on Sunday. Lad McConkey can be an absolute pain in your ass, especially when you're playing cover 3 and just leaving those soft spots in the defense. Lad McConkey is going to find them, and he's going to make you pay. Same with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert can be a very good, very surgical quarterback. And I mean, we've seen it before. We faced the Chargers with Herbert multiple times, and he's gotten us twice. The 2 times we faced him, he's gotten us. So it's we've seen firsthand, how damaging Justin Herbert can be, the damage that he can cause when you just make him feel uncomfortable. That's why I say Sunday's all about stepping out of the comfort zone for this defense. It's actually about causing some havoc somehow, some way. It's got to be done. Now, I will say, and this is very big, and obviously you don't root for injuries, you don't cheer for injuries or anything like that. But J.K. Dobbins, running back for the Chargers, who has been a very important part of that offense this year. J.K. Dobbins is a very critical part to that Chargers offense. A lot of what the Chargers do is set up with that running game and is set up off of J.K. Dobbins. He is out this Sunday. I believe he sprained something like his MCL, or let me get this right, but J.K. Dobbins is going to be out this Sunday. And I believe they have him at like week to week, a knee sprain. And he's going to be out Sunday. So obviously you don't root for injury, but that certainly does not hurt us. Because J.K. Dobbins has also been a pain in the ass this year for a lot of teams. So the fact that the Falcons do not have to face him once again, Falcons catch a break of some sorts. And now the Chargers are going to have to really step out of their comfort zone, because a lot of what they like to do, setting up those spots where Herbert can get the ball to a guy like Lad McConkey. A lot of that is set up from the running game, from J.K. Dobbins. And now a guy like Gus Edwards has to step up for them. That Haskins kid you saw on Monday night in their backfield, he's going to have to step up. So we're really going to have to see for the Chargers without J.K. Dobbins. It's going to be interesting to see. So as far as where I really think this game stands, I truly honestly believe that while you look at record and you look at a lot of things, we got to consider this for a second. The Chargers have just played 2 very grueling games at SoFi in primetime. They played a Sunday night game versus Cincinnati that they won in the last second after being up really big, and then in typical Chargers fashion, finding a way to let Cincinnati tie it up. And they found a way to win. And then a Monday night game against the Ravens where Baltimore went in there and they ultimately pulled away with the win. That's what Baltimore does. And now they're having, on a short week, to come over to the West Coast and play what is for them a 10 a.m. game. Their bodies are going to be on 10 a.m. mode. I don't know when they're coming here. And then you consider, and I said this in my picks video, I don't incorporate my picks video a lot. I said something. I feel like this is really going to end up being a weekend. We've seen it in the 2 games already, and I really feel like we're even seeing it in this game right here. This could definitely be a weekend that favors across the entire country to play this Falcons team who's going to beat the Falcons. Have played 2 grueling primetime games in SoFi where they've gotten beaten up. Listen, that is a spot that should favor the Falcons. It really should. There should not be an excuse in terms of, oh, we were tired, oh, we were outgassed, this and that. Because this team's coming across the country after just playing 2 night games, and they're having to come across the country. Their bodies are going to be on coffee mode. So you should honestly, the way I see it, not have a problem with coming into this game and taking care of your business. Now, look, I still think we got to consider this. We got to consider that this defense is not reliable. It's not. And I would not be shocked if the Falcons let this become some sort of shootout on Sunday. I wouldn't. But I think this is a game you have to win, and you have to see something good out of the entire team. You do. You have to see something good out of the entire team, because when you look at what is remaining, after this, you go to Minnesota. And even though I have a lot of questions about Minnesota's finding ways to win games. So listen, Kirk's going back to Minnesota. He's absolutely going to want to win that game. But it's not just Kirk that's playing. It's defense too. And then we got to go to Vegas. Listen, Vegas might be the worst team in the league. Their own coach admits it. But that's still an NFL team we got to play. Then, we've got to play the Giants. That's still an NFL team we got to play. Then we got to go play Washington. And Washington, we ain't beaten for 3 straight years. And Jane Daniels, even though they've lost a few games, we've seen him light teams up. And then we have a final game of the year versus Carolina. And Carolina's playing a lot better than when we first saw them back in week 6. So this is a game you got to come out and you got to set tone with how you perform. I don't think you can come out and perform in this game with a lackluster, piss-poor effort. You got to come out and you really have to play. You got to see something from this offense, and you got to see something, I really think, from this defense. As much as I don't know if you can rely on this defense, you got to see something. Because if this defense comes out and looks like how they did versus Denver, there's going to be a lot of fucking head spinning. So we really need to come out on Sunday and pull off this win. We do. There's no way around it. This is a game that you have to win. Now, as far as what I feel like the 3 keys to victory are on Sunday, I'll go ahead and I'll say the first one is definitely making the Chargers work on those drives. That's what you got to do. You got to make them work on those drives. You cannot let the Chargers get into a rhythm early. You have to let them work on those drives. J.K. Dobbins being out is going to be very big. So now you got to let them work on those drives. That's what you got to do. Second key to victory, getting the running game involved. I really feel like that this is the type of game you look at and you say you want to see Bijan Robinson really make a name in this game. You want to see his name get called. And as I talk about the running game getting going, that can also help with the passing game, particularly Kyle Pitts. And then even you talk about Darnell Mooney and Drake London. That you setting up that running game allows them to also make plays. The third key to victory is going to have to be making the key play late in the game. We have seen whenever the Falcons and Chargers get together, it always seems to be a game of who comes away with the ball in the key play. The past few times it's been San Diego. Especially, I just called him San Diego. Excuse me, Los Angeles. Especially, remember that last time when Taquan Graham made his career-defining play off that fumble? It shows you right there. This is a type of game that you're really going to have to see the Falcons come out and make the big plays late to really win this game. You're going to have to see it. Whether it's someone like Jesse Bates getting involved, making an interception, whether it's finally realizing how to sack the damn quarterback and getting some pressure on Justin Herbert, it's got to happen. You got to make whoever wins the key plays late is going to be the team that wins this game. So making the Chargers work on those drives, getting the running game involved, and then winning the key plays late. That's going to be the keys to victory. Now, as far as my final score prediction goes, it's really tough. I said 30-28 Falcons earlier in the week. And I really, feel like that was kind of not considering everything. I could definitely see that happening. I feel like if that does happen, obviously you'd be pleased with the win. But this defense giving up 28 points, I don't know how pleased I'd be with it. I could definitely see it happening based off of what we've seen. And honestly, it could. Well, listen, it definitely could end up happening. But I'm really feeling more of like something on the lines of 23-17 at this point. That's really kind of what I'm feeling. I feel like this defense, they have to come out and they cannot have another performance where they shit on themselves. They have to come out and make some sand. So I'm going to say 23-17. I feel like that's a fair score to go with. Kind of is basic, but honestly, that's kind of how you got to play sometimes. You got to play a basic ball game, no mistakes, minimizing the mistakes, and in the end, making the key plays to win. That's what this ball game is going to end up being. You cannot come, but I'm going to say this right now. We are going to see coming out of this ball game a lot of where the Falcons stand with the rest of their season. I really do. I feel like we're going to find out a lot. If we see this team come out and look sorry, then as much as it pains me to say this, our prospects of winning this division could be in serious jeopardy. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No. I truly feel like this is a spot that you come out and you really do play worth a damn. I really can feel it. It feels like a game we win, because I'll never forget that game versus the Saints last year. And obviously it's different because it's versus the Saints. But we actually were coming off the bye in that game too, and we were playing very piss poor. And we were talking about we had to win that game. And when we found a way to win that game. And obviously, different coach, many different aspects to the team, but still, kind of feels like a similar spot. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that I really feel like I feel like this is a game the Falcons do win. It feels like it's time for the Falcons to get back in the victory column. And if we don't, we're going to be sitting here on Monday having some conversations. But hopefully the only conversations we're having on Sunday is about a win. At least one can hope. First game off the bye. I'm really, looking forward to see what this team looks like, and I hope I see some different stuff than what I've seen prior, especially what we had going into the bye. So anyways, man, with that being said, hope you all obviously have had a great Thanksgiving. Have a great Black Friday. If you're going to go Black Friday shopping, hit up some of those 20% deals. Man, back in the day, Black Friday used to be 50% off, and people at Walmart at midnight punching each other in the face over TVs and shit. And now it's just all online, man. But Black Friday, obviously you're doing shopping over the weekend. Hope you hit up those discounts. And hey, let's enjoy a great weekend of football. It's rivalry weekend in college football. And in the NFL, got some big games this Sunday. Game tomorrow. Still got the game going here. Looks like Green Bay's taking care of business. Anyways, man, with that being said, I will see you all in the next one.